everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast here on TSC TV on YouTube. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And if this is your first time watching one of our videos or listening to one of our podcasts, please just go ahead and hit subscribe. Help a brother out. When you go ahead and hit subscribe, it gets us the opportunity to know that more people are checking out the content. It also helps us to rise in the ranks. More people are able to find the content because other people like the content. Listen, if you haven't done so already as well, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this show. And then connect with a brother on LinkedIn. You can find me at Donald C. Kelly anywhere on social media. Please, it would be an absolute honor. You get a chance to hear from me all the time. I don't get a chance to hear from you, and I want to chat with you. It's okay. Hit me up, Donald C. Kelly. Now, on today's episode, as I mentioned in a teaser, sometimes you have these questions. And if you have a question, you can submit that to me as well. You can find that. Just hit me up on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly. And let me know. I have a client, and one of the questions that he shared with me, I was talking to him, and he said that, I have a list of questions that I ask prospects, but sometimes, you know what, between you and me and, I don't ask some of those questions because it's kind of feel like I'm prying into their business. I feel like I'm going too deep, or I don't want to get smacked by one of these prospects. It's just because I need to get information. How do I best do that? How do I not skip over these questions that are critical to understand their business? And I was like, I think I have something for you today. Actually, I have 4 things. Typically, it was 3 things, but I'm going to give you a bonus today if you promise not to tell anybody about it. Actually, you should tell people about it. The first one is build rapport. That's the given. Number 2, I want you to let them know you're going to ask tough questions. Number 3, it's all about how you phrase it, your phraseology. And then the bonus one, this is a secret ninja trick. We want you to educate them enough that they're willing to tell you more details. So let's start with the first one, building rapport. We all know and understand this is to be true, right? I mean, say, for instance, if I'm talking to my friend and I was able to share with my buddy, certain things, maybe something like embarrassing that I was on the elevator and I accidentally, let one go. It started to stink up the elevator. Good thing everybody had on mask. I probably won't go and tell somebody that I just see in the coffee shop. Like walk up to a individual, hey ma'am, I let one go in the elevator and I hope those people are still alive. It smells so bad. Like, you're not going to say that, but you would probably tell that to your friend. The same idea when it comes towards business. The private information that your prospect has that you need to help differentiate or discover if there's a real problem is only going to come if they feel they can have that connection with you. So let's say I'm calling in, back in the example there, I'm a sales rep and I'm just calling into an organization. I just start spewing out and asking these questions that I don't have the authority to ask yet. I don't have that connection or that permission to get from the prospect yet. And that's a huge one. So we want to build the proper rapport. Some of those things you want to do is not to talk about the weather. That's one of those things that many salespeople think is the most effective way to build rapport. They start talking, well, how's the weather over there in Cincinnati? Or how's the weather over there in Louisiana? It's like, come on, it's not key. It's not a surface level questions. Gong had some studies and it kind of pointed this out. But if you can stop asking surface level questions, get to some deeper questions, money's gonna surface, right? So here's one of those questions. Here's another way you can do that. Let's say I go to the prospect website or to their LinkedIn account and I see that they have new team members coming on board. Looking at those new team members, I could then use that in my conversation. So let's say I'm talking to the CEO of the small business and I say, Barbara, I just saw that you guys brought on Megan to work in marketing. That's exciting. Why did you select Megan to come to work for ABC Company? I'm sure there's a story back there. She might say, oh, Megan is bright. I met her, blah, blah, blah. And she interviewed well and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Now you made some kind of connection, right? You have something deeper. It shows that you're not just like the surface level seller, but you're actually trying to make that deep connection. You're doing your research. You're having some thoughtful engagement. That's probably the best way of putting it. So that's the first thing I would tell you to do. Build that proper rapport. So number 2. Let them know you'll be asking tough questions. I shared this in the past that you set the rules before you play the game. We're going to link back into this episode. We're going to link back to one of my previous episodes where I spoke about rapport building. And also I'm going to link back in this one where we tie back to getting the permission, setting the rules before you play the game. I was talking about my friends when we play flag football, and some of our buddies, they always go crazy when rules, in the middle of the game, they want to change rules. So we decided before we play a football game, we're going to set the rules before we play the game. Everyone knows exactly where the out of bounds is. Everyone knows exactly what we're playing 4 down hard, or we're playing, whatever college rules or NFL rules. We give them everything they need to know at the very beginning so that we can have a good time. Same thing with your prospect. If I build enough rapport, then I can tell you, yo, Barbara, or not yo, hey, Barbara, as we go throughout this meeting, I'm going to ask you some questions. And the purpose of this is for me to get a better understanding of your business so I can be able to give you an insight if we truly can help or not. So then now she's getting a better understanding of that. There's a permission that's pretty much granted that I'm going to ask, or the anticipation that I'm going to ask certain questions beforehand. You know what I mean? You have a good time with that. So that's point number 2. First one is build rapport. Second one, get the permission or let them know up front you're going to ask tough questions. Number 3, this comes down to the phrase, how you phrase things. So one of the things that I like to do when I talk to my prospect, I like to ask them, out of curiosity, blankety blank blank. Or is it okay if I ask you a question? That's using a softener or using some kind of statement to help them let them know that something else is coming. Out of curiosity, how much do you guys spend right now on blankety blank? Or is it okay if I ask you a question? Sure. Blankety blank blank. That way I'm phrasing it, and it's giving me an opportunity for almost like, again, more approval from them, as well as to kind of share that I'm curious about it. And it just kind of makes it a little bit much easier. That's my personality, the way I like to operate. Your personality might be something different. You're probably a direct person. But this is one of those things that I've seen that's helped me. So the way that you phrase your question is also an important part. And then also you can phrase it in a different way. So you need to find out about how much they spend on a particular service, like the example we talked about in a teaser. So perhaps I might give an example. Certain people spend anywhere from blank and blank, blank and blank when it comes towards accounting service. For you guys, what range do you fall into? Do you fall into this range, or do you fall into this range or this range? They might say, well, we fall into range number 2. We spend anywhere from about $200 to $400 a month. Okay, great. The reason why I want to get that information is because of this. Or you can even phrase it in a different way, where you could tell them the reason first, and then you can ask that. So one of the things that I like to find out from prospect is this, and here's the reason why, because blank, blank, blank. Many of the software companies out there have different services, and they also have professional service on top. We just have a flat rate with our professional service all wrapped in one. When it comes to your service, do you typically have professional service charge and your software charge? Gotcha. How much are you guys spending right now on both of those, or your professional service versus your software? Okay, great. So now, because again, I gave them the reason why I'm asking that question, they're able to give me more information. So the first thing, again, let them know what you're asking, that you're going to ask tough questions. Number 2, you want to talk about, number 1 is build rapport. Number 2, you want to let them know you're going to ask tough questions, or set the rules before you play the game. And then number 3 is the way that we phrase it. We can give them the reason why we're going to ask that and so forth. But here's the bonus one. Shh. I'm going to tell them the bonus. Here's the bonus. Educate them enough before you ask the question. What I mean by this, if you think about it, when you come into a situation as a sales rep and you sound subservient, you sound like, hi, I'm trying to find information about this, they're going to treat you like that. But when you come into a room and you sound like you're a professional, like an expert, they're more than likely going to treat you like that professional or that expert. So let's give an example. I went to the doctor, and I was talking to my doctor about, I wasn't feeling good, about pains that I was having. And then the doctor started asking me some questions, and I was like, listen, that sounds kind of personal. I said this in my head, but then it quickly went away because I'm like, dude, this is the doctor. He's trying to help me, trying to make sure I'm feeling better. So therefore, I divulged the information necessary to him. He was able to help me to get the proper diagnosis, and things worked out perfect, and I didn't have any issues. And look at me. I'm healthy and strong, eating my Wheaties. Yes, still working on the gym thing there. Another story for another day. The point is, because I had this conversation because I had the conversation with a doctor and recognized him as the expert, it was able to help me to feel more comfortable to divulge or share information with him. Do your prospects see you in that same light? Do they see you in lab coat, so to speak? Do you sound like someone that is an expert? here's a way that you can sound like a consultant or an expert. Because once you sound like that person, sounds like the authoritative individual, listen, they're going to be willing to share that stuff with you. So let's say I reach out to a teleprospect, 17%, over the past 15 years, we've worked with, over 2 million customers. And 71% of them we've seen have a high turnover rate when this happened, blankety blank. Out of curiosity, right now with your organization, where is your turnover rate? Is it anywhere from blank or is it anywhere from blank? Because I shared some expertise before this, before I asked my question, it then helps to set in their mind that, one, I know what I'm talking about because I've helped 2 million people and I have some authority in that, and my statements bring some confidence. Two, also other people are having a similar challenge, so then therefore they probably don't feel as embarrassed sharing their information. So then therefore might say, yeah, our turnover rate is anywhere from like 70 to 80%, where really it sucks. Then now we can know really what the problem is, and we can dissect that and go further. Interesting. Tell me, why do you think your turnover rate is that at that level right now? They'll tell me what their problem is. Pretty much they're telling me how to sell to them. Well, this is the issue. We can practice the 5 whys, or that 3 to 5 probing question to get a little bit deeper. Interesting. Tell me more. Now they tell you more. Now you're getting down to the deeper cause. It turns out that maybe they have they're really pushy and they're demanding, and that's why people are leaving their organization, whatever it might be. But now we're able to get down to the root cause. You're able to have that conversation because you sound like an expert. 2, you know what's going on. 3, they don't feel that embarrassed because other people have similar situations. And 4, because you're freaking amazing. All of those things tie back to this prospect having the confidence in you to share that. You put that all together, and then now these questions don't sound like they're prying. It sounds like this is the sales rep I need to speak with because she's going to help me. She's going to solve my problems. She knows what she's talking about. I hope that was able to help you. I hope that gave you some guidance. Again, the point number 1 is that you want to build rapport, and then number 2, you want to let them know by setting rules before you play the game that you're going to ask tough questions. Number 3, it's all about the way you phrase it. You can change the way you phrase your questions, or you can give them the reason why you're asking these questions beforehand. And then number 4, or the bonus one, comes down to educating them. Sound like an expert. Give them the proper education. They're going to more than likely give you the information you need. I share stuff like this because I want you to succeed. I tell you about these sponsors that we have who are giving us amazing deals because, listen, I'm trying to help you to take advantage of tools that work. Everybody got all kinds of tools out there. I'm giving you the ones that we utilize, the ones that work for us, and the ones that we love. I'm not going to push something to you that I don't believe in. So I want you to check those tools out. Check out our sponsors. As always, I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. Most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking each and every single day and go out and do big things. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.